Repetitive work injuries, oftentimes the injured worker thinks of a repetitive work injury just as a carpal tunnel syndrome situation, but other repetitive work injuries exist. So for instance, the package car driver that gets in and out of his truck every single day, making 200 stops every single day over the course of his 20-year term, might suffer a repetitive injury to his ankle because of that repetitive motion of doing the same thing over and over again. Stepping out of the truck with the same foot each time, 200 to 300 times a day, 5 days a week, it might constitute a repetitive injury. Those types of repetitive injuries might give rise to a workers' compensation claim. What is most important is as soon as you realize that you have an injury and you speak with your doctor about it, make sure to tell your doctor the things that you do at work so that if the doctor does consider it to be related to what's being done at work, the doctor can correlate the work environment with the injury. The worker who suffers an injury from repetitive use, whether that be his or her hands, or his or her back, or his or her knees, or his or her feet, are entitled to the same types of compensation than someone who is involved in an accident where they slip and fall. Once there is a causal connection made between the injury itself and the cause of that injury, the repetitive motion, and that information is provided to the insurance carrier then would have an obligation to provide medical benefits and temporary disability benefits if that repetitive injury requires that injured worker to be out of work, and a permanency benefit. When there is an injury that arises out of repetitious use of a body part, oftentimes the injured worker doesn't realize that it's related to what he's doing. So it would be incumbent on you as the injured worker, if that's a circumstance, to make sure that when you go see your doctor, to talk to your doctor about what's bothering you, to say, hey, I get in and out of a truck every day, several times a day, 200 or 300 times a day, 1,000 times a week onto that same foot. Could it have anything to do with work? And once the doctor makes the causal connection, then that can be presented to the insurance company for compensation. We here at the Epstein Law Firm would be happy to guide you through a situation where you have sustained a repetitive injury from a workplace environment, something like a carpal tunnel syndrome caused by your repetitive use of a keyboard or repetitive use of tools over a long period of time, or an injury to your back or your foot as a result of lifting heavy packages every day or getting in and out of a vehicle.